first of all, man, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us. And on behalf, literally, of the entire LGBTQIA plus community, man, thank you so much for doing what you do and doing these two episodes. The story of Topa it's remarkable that you are able to tackle the issue of gender dysphoria in such an honest, beautiful, and heart-wrenching way that has never been seen before. What you've done is incredible, and it means so much to so many people that I had to just start with thank you.
I'm touched. That's you know, it's my family is pretty diverse, so you know we've had several conversations about this episode since it aired. But yeah, no, that's great to hear. I mean, you know, it's there's a certain amount of guesswork, you know, with this kind of thing as a writer, and you know, you try and do all the research you can, but at the end of the day, you're you know, it's not my personal experience, so but you know, it's yeah, you know, I sort of went at it with the idea like, look, we're all human, we all have the same basic desires and needs, and there has to be some common thread that makes any of us, you know, able to identify with Topa and on the most basic level. And that was kind of the way I went into it. But I'm thrilled that it resonated, because again, it is a lot of guesswork for me.
And it's so surprising, because generally heterosexual white men are not the most, let's say, open to experiencing and really understanding someone else's life experience.
Yeah. You know, again, it's interesting to. I mean, look, there's a certain level of protection with science fiction, because you can, you know, if we look back at About a Girl, I think, you know, there are some things there that, you know, I didn't get quite right, and would love to go back and fine tune if I could, but that ship sort of sailed. So it was nice to dig back into this, and you know, I do pay attention to the responses. There's some, you know, particular reviewers and bloggers from the LGBTQ community online who I, you know, will check with after we air an episode like this, and you know, when the one from season 1 aired, it wasn't really, you know, they're like, nope, you're not there yet. you haven't done it. But this has been very gratifying, because it's like, all right, we worked harder, we tried to really get in there, and I'm glad that the response has been good, because it's, you know, it's as I say, it's if science fiction can show us that we're all the same, we're all human, we're much more alike than unlike, then I think it's doing its job.
Yeah, totally. And it's the other thing that has really surprised me about Orville, particularly this season, is the fact that, you know, I'm a lifelong Trekkie. This season in particular, the fact that you are telling stories that we have either not seen before or we've seen, but you put a twist to it, you at least once, sometimes 2 or 3 times, that I can't predict.
Well, that's good.
And I'm just like, son of a bitch, he got me again. How?
Yeah, I've never had more fun. I think I never should have been writing comedy. I you know, writing jokes is hard. It's a pain in the ass. I don't particularly like it. But they're fun to watch and not fun to make. This has been the most fun I've ever had as a writer, particularly this season. So yeah, but you know, it's good to hear, because it's a tough. There's so much out there, and there's so many years of sci-fi, and well, particularly Star Trek alone, that you're trying to, you know, what is that? How do you surprise anybody anymore?
Yeah, I mean, the episode that just recently aired with Gordon, Stuck in the Past. And, you know, of course, we've seen time travel where they're stuck in the past, but we've never seen it where they don't want to leave the past and they're forced to, and then they don't remember it. And then you, as his best friend, got to tell him, just like, holy God, man, like, so well done.
That was, I tell you, you can thank Leighton Meester for that, because that originally that episode was supposed to be much more of a romp. It was, you know, like a chase through the 21st century, and we had, you know, Kalon that were in human form like Mark, and it was much more like the Terminator. And then Leighton Meester got pregnant, and you know, like, well, look, we're not going to have, you know, Leighton running up and down stairs and being chased if she trips and falls. I don't want that happening on this show, you know. And so we had to go back to the drawing board, and it was the best thing that could have happened, because that story emerged out of it, and it's a much better story than what we had to start with. And you know, there's at some point I'll on some panel I'm sure I'll you know, there's so many questions that people have about that episode. You know, why did Ed and Kelly have to tell him? Why couldn't they just go? And you know, we have answers for everything. So it's you know, at some point we'll dig deep into that one. But yeah, that was a fun show to do. Turned out well.
Yeah, it's the fact that you continue to surprise, and each episode is, you know, I know being on Hulu now, you're not constrained to those 44 minutes to tell a story. The fact that you can make it as long as you need to tell the story you want to tell, really kind of makes all the difference, I think.
Yeah, that's, well, you know, as my partner John Cassar says, he says, look, the one thing now that movies have over television is shoe leather. It's you know, that shot of somebody walking down the hall that doesn't need to be there for the story, but it just sets the tone. And now with streaming, you have that to, you know, you don't have to there gets to be a sort of a network rhythm, because you have to cut everything down to exactly 43 minutes, and you start to feel this very similar rhythm to network shows that starts to make them all kind of feel the same. And that's because you're in the edit room and you're like, all right, this is done, it's finished, this is great, the story works. We now have to cut 6 minutes out of it, and that's just not how storytelling works naturally. And it's been great. Look, it's been a roll of the dice, because you can easily bore people. I mean, the show last night was, you know, it was an hour and a half, and I kind of held my breath waiting for people to say, no, you indulgent bastard, you can't do this. But it held, and that was nice to see.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is complaining about more of the show, especially when the seasons are, you know, it's no longer 23 episodes a season. So every episode we get, it's kind of like, don't end yet. Don't end yet. Say more things. Say more things.
Right. Exactly. I have loved doing this show over the past few years. It's truly been one of the best, if not the best, professional experience of my career. And I'm really proud of the topical storylines we've been able to do and to share with our audiences. And Topa's story specifically was something that we introduced in season 1 that I really wanted to dig deeper into this season, and to really crystallize and refine and really give its due. We hope that you know, a story like this will encourage more acceptance, communication, discussion in our society, and I really hope you enjoy these shows. Thanks for watching.
Awesome. Thank you again so much, man. You're amazing. We love you.
My pleasure. Right back at you.